Tech Priest Dingo. What's up, Nurgle Matthew? I'm listening to the conversation. They're talking about being an exhibitionist. I don't know. This is gonna be one of those shows, guys. How's everyone doing?
Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you here by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the chief of cereal and sigilite of the FLG, and I'm Seth the Mad Dog, your freshly tanned competitive correspondent. Kicker, buddy, how have you been doing?
Oh, have you been at a tanning booth, Seth?
No, I just changed the color of my light.
All right. Well, I still look like my orange tinted self, slightly Oompa Loompa like. But yeah, I was actually I'm feeling really good. I spent the weekend camping out in the middle of nowhere, Texas, with a bunch of random strangers I met on the internet. So it was a lot of fun. It was just like a van, like camper van meetup group in the middle of nowhere,
You,
Texas. Like it was, yeah, it was.
you say that, Kicker, but you organize events for
Yeah.
40K people to hang out with random people they met on the internet. So,
Yeah,
makes
right,
sense.
right. But that's at least like in like a normal society setting. Like you're like, this was like 100 miles from like a gas
Have,
station and stuff.
have you been to Vegas? I don't know if I call that
Yeah.
normal
Right,
society.
right, right.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough. But the entire time I'm out there in this camping trip that I did not organize, I was just a participant. And I'm like, wow, I could really think of all the cool swag we could be getting here. Like, where's the challenge coins? Like, where's the challenge coins? Right.
The Texas challenge coins.
Yeah, where's the Texas you survived this camping trip? No, it was a lot of fun. And then I got back and I've just been so rejuvenated, like so ready to paint. So I've been painting, and I'm almost done with the last of my current Eldar army. So I'm really pumped. What about you, Seth? What have you been up to, man?
Well, I've been tinkering with the Tau, and so I took him
Don't
to an
be
RTT.
humble. Yeah, don't go. Just
Took
say
him to
it.
an
Say it.
RTT,
Say
and
it.
I took second place. So
Okay.
I had some store credit, and I was sitting there at the store looking, what should I get? And we had Adam on the other week telling us about speed paint. So I took the dive and I
Yeah.
picked up the big speed paint set.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I really wanted to see if I could use speed paint to match my current existing orcs so that I could start trying to get a horde of those painted.
Oh,
So,
look at those. Yeah.
Kicker, on
Ooh.
the from our perspective, the right side of the image is the normal beast snaggle boy that I painted with my traditional
Mhm.
base shade layers, and sorry, that's the one on the right. The one on the
Yeah.
left is the speed paint. So what do you think? Are
I
they
mean, dude,
close?
yeah, they're really, really close. Like that is worthy of adding to your army, hands down. By the way, guys, if you are listening to our podcast, you should be watching our podcast every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We get to watch the wonderful Seth and I live, be part of the chat, and see the video content that we produce there, right there. That is
Yeah.
the photo. That is Orc's Seth's. I just called you Orc. Seth's Orc hobby progress right there,
Yeah.
and it is looking stunning. So, Seth, the one on the right is army a speed painter.
The one on the right is base, regular paints.
Regular
The
paint.
one on the left is speed paint.
Oh, wow. I
And
can't
so
even tell the
the
difference,
chat
like
the chat's asking, did I slap chop it? Very similar to slap chop. It's and this is all the instructions. I literally Sunday was like, Adam, what steps should I do?
Adam
And
from
he,
the Army Painter, right?
yeah, I literally messaged him and was just like, what steps should I do? And he was like, you base coat it black, you zenithal it white, you dry brush it, you wash it with a dark tone, and then you put the speed paints on, and there we go. So
That is some very impressive work you got there. So,
yeah, and that speed paint model took about a quarter of the time the regular model.
so I'm expecting for your hobby progress for next week to be the entire army, just like all done.
I
Just boom. All right.
haven't figured out what the next orc list I want to run is for Charity Hammer. So,
So let's just backtrack really fast because I know
Oh,
charity is.
hey, there.
We're going to back.
Speaking of
Oh,
backtracking,
there's my hobby progress. Wow. Yes, those are two of my models. They don't look normal because I don't do anything normal. Though my whole like army for Eldar like wood elf army, and I'm using a lot of Sylvaneth stuff. So I'm using that Sylvaneth, I guess. Tree revenant, I don't know, guy with wings that are made from a beetle. I don't know. That's one of my Farseers that has the relic wings, so he can fly over and do mortal wounds. And the one with the bow and arrow is the cursed city elf, wood elf, and the bow and arrow represents the bow relic weapon thing that I can use in the gameplay because I really want the visual assistance here because these relics are just too complicated to remember. So the person with the bow actually has the bow relic. What?
too hard for the kicker brain.
Yeah, too hard. But I really like these models because they stand out so much compared to all the line infantry, I guess. So hey, looks like we've got a guest that's going to be popping in today, and he just showed up. I think we're going to be bringing him in later, but it's nice to see that he connected to our show. We'll see you soon. But yeah,
Behind the scenes kicker.
Behind the scenes.
Let's get into the industry news.
Let's get into the industry news, folks. All right, so not too much on the product release front. We do see that new Necromunda squat mech suit thing, which is pretty cool. And I really like this is for Necromunda. It's got to be in the main like 40K. It's got to come, cross the streams, right? It's got to play 40K because that mech suit is badass. It's how would you describe it, Seth? Like we don't have an image of it yet. So how do you
I
describe this?
think the best description I have seen is if you took a contemptor and squished it.
Yes, boom, right there. That is perfect. That is perfect. And the claw is pretty badass. It looks like it has either a plasma or a flamethrower weapon on it. There we
There he
go.
is.
There we go. There we go. I
He
I
says, "I
am
just want to hold your hand, Kicker."
I wasn't too excited about the squats initially, just because they weren't doing it for me. But that right there, that's got me, excited. We,
That's a Necromunda squat.
huh?
That's that's a Necromunda squat.
That
Like,
is a
who
necromancer.
knows what the rest of the because Necromunda looks way different than a lot of 40K
Yeah,
models. Now
yeah,
that
yeah.
being
You're
said, you
right.
could definitely use that as like if there's a Legion of Voltan model of similar size,
Yes,
you
similar
definitely
size.
use that as a conversion. But you never know. You
If
never
we
know,
have
Kicker.
stuff like that for Legion Voltan, I'm probably going to start that army, and that would be like I think my 7th army at this point.
What's
So
that? Kicker
yeah,
starts
yeah,
a new army to
yeah, right.
chase the
So
meta.
yeah, only if it's a good army, though, right? Only if it's a good army.
I, as a longtime Tau player, don't chase the meta.
Oh wait, no, this is what I did want to backtrack, Seth, because you were far too humble, and I don't want to go back into the intro, but we do need to talk about this, dude. You came in second, but you won all 3 of your games. What were your scores? Just say them. Just say them.
97, 97, and 97.
Well done, good
Um,
sir. You did exactly
that's the
what you were
most you can
planning
get
to.
when you take decisive action.
Yeah, so you maxed out your most attainable score. I mean, like
Yes,
you did great, Seth. I wish you would have won. I'm sorry that jerk face that beat you should not have won.
that's all
I,
right.
I have no idea
He
who that
beat
guy
me
is.
by 3 points. He
He beat you
scored
by
294 battle points across 3 games. That's pretty good.
Let's jump into the Age of Sigmar minis. A few
Yeah.
more mini box sets have been
More
released.
conversion fodder for
More
Kicker's army.
conversion fodder, but all Age of Sigmar is getting pretty hot. Like I might actually try and start that game system this summer just because I've got some time and it looks like some fun. So there's a
Yeah.
Knight Haunts and Sylvaneth box set that's been released. There's also more information rolling out on the Horus Heresy and the specific faction or chapter rules, which
Mhm.
are looking pretty cool. I've never played 30K before, but the new 30K looks like it's going to get a lot
Now,
of support from GW.
let's put a pin in 30K because that
Right.
may or may not be what we're talking about later.
Yeah. No. I am curious to see how lore accurate the current rules that have been previewed are, because that's
100%.
100%. Okay, sweet,
Yep.
sweet. Seth, have you seen any new rules that I might have missed? Any sort of leaks or anything? Because I've not
No,
seen anything on that.
no new rules. There's some FAQs we'll talk about later, but no new rules. It's kind of quiet on the 40K front.
It is.
We've got the Chaos Knights and the Imperial Knights now. We know that there's a new mission set coming. There's always they've previewed Space Marines, but they didn't say, or Chaos Space Marines. They didn't say when the Chaos stuff's coming out. They're just that there are a bunch of new sculpts, but who knows when we're going to see
They're
that?
coming soon. They're coming
Maybe
soon.
they'll get lost in the warp, and by warp I mean ocean.
Well,
Never
you
know.
know what is brand new and shiny? Okay, not really shiny,
Yes.
but dark and grimy. It's the new Frontline gaming mat. The Graveyard mat is a brand new mat that we've just released, and it's coming with a fancy new matching objective markers. So you can have objective
Nice.
markers, those fancy neoprene objective markers.
Mhm.
You can get those to match the mat. They all look cool together. It doesn't take away too much from the immersion of the game. So you can grab your Graveyard mat right now from the Frontline Gaming website, and it's great for both, of course, 40K and Age of Sigmar, and a lot
Or
of
maybe
other.
that Night Haunt set that's coming out.
Yeah, that Night Haunts. What a coincidence, right? What a coincidence that this comes out this time. But it's actually really good too for if you're like a fan of MCP or any of these zombie-like games, So yeah, check out the Graveyard mat. I want to jump over to event news because we do have quite a bit happening with the events. We're going to go straight into BAO. That is next week, folks. Next week, make sure to watch the FLGN stream. You'll have our wonderful tech priest that's manning our show right now, working the dials and gears and whatnot in San
Hoops and wires,
Francisco
mostly.
and the wires and blessing the whole event and all that. Right? We'll
He's
have.
preparing the incense as we speak.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have Val, of course, on site. We'll have the one and only Matt Magikarp use fly as well. So it's going to be a great team on site. Make sure to watch the BAO. That will be next Friday,
And
Saturday.
Kicker,
Sunday.
will you be on site at the
I will be
BAO?
there working the registration desk. So if there's any issues that involve, getting your tickets or whatnot, registration, or there's no toilet paper in the bathroom, that's when you come and find me.
Where do people deliver their cereal?
Where do people? Yeah, I will be at the front desk and I will be hungry. It's gonna be a long setup. Actually, if you guys are there, setup starts most likely at 6 p.m. on Thursday night, so we'll probably be very eager to have some friends, or at least have some sugary breakfast cereal on Friday morning because we will be hungry and tired. ACO. Let's talk about the ACO. I don't think we have a photo of the ACO dice because we released it on the Frontline Gaming community page. But the ACO dice are something brand new we just did. Did you see those dice,
I
Seth?
did,
Yeah, yeah, right.
and I know I want to talk about them, and
Did
so
you
I'm
see
going to
what we
give
did?
Tech
Did you
Priest
see what we did
Dicky a
there?
hard time. Those are not chess X dice.
No, they're not, guys. Oh, no, they're not. Frontline Gaming is making our own dice, and they are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And ChessX is great. Don't get me wrong. We
Yeah.
all love ChessX, but ChessX is basically providing people a catalog of options, and then you kind of just choose an option, and they'll engrave your logo on that side. We're making these totally custom from scratch, and I don't know if you saw the way we did the size there. Those are nice squared off edges.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
like the squared off edges. If any old longtime fans of FLG will know the silver and gold dice that were sold on the web store for the longest time. They're very, very much that shape.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So we're going back to an olden time, but the dice are great. They're a very it's just a different style. We're trying a lot of different things. We have not shown the BAO dice yet, and because I haven't been able to get a good photo of them, they're really cool too. It's a whole new style of dice
That's
for us.
next week.
That is next week. I know. You
No
just got
one,
to show up.
no one at FLG HQ has a camera.
No, okay. So they're in a box ready to go ship on the truck, and it's like I don't want to unpack everything for the truck, so let's just make do.
Leo, if you can hear me, take a picture of the dice and send them to Kicker.
Yeah, right. Please do. Speaking of dice, we're going to talk about the Lone Star Open. The dice for that are even cooler. So basically, BAO, I tried one thing. Then for ACO, I tried a different thing. And now with BAO, I'm trying a whole other thing. But like the Lone Star Open dice are actually the most expensive dice we've ever made because it's using a new technique. But I don't know. You'll see them. Let's get through BAO. Let's look, and then we'll show off the Lone Star Open
The
dice.
amount of dice teasing I'm getting here.
Yeah, I know. Right. Well,
is there anything else happening with the events besides dice?
Okay. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of games at Lone Star Open, guys. We're gonna have all the game systems being played. There will be pre-gaming on the Friday before the tournament, which will have free appetizers and everyone. There'll be some drinks for all the military guys because this is our military appreciation event. And I'm very proud to say we just partnered with a charity. It's a military organization based in Texas that's based around veterans. I don't want to provide all the information now until I have it all like written down, contractually signed, but it's a Texas-based organization that will be benefiting tremendously from us. We're doing a really cool mat, basically a very special mat that
that's cool.
All proceeds of that mat will be going to this organization that focuses on helping veterans. The mat is going to be totally custom for Texas, and it will probably be a Texas themed mat in somewhere.
Is it just? Please tell me that the Texas mat is just a 60 by 44 Texas flag.
No, that's it. How did you know? Dude, you just ruined it. You just ruined it. Thanks, Seth.
Just straight up a Texas flag.
just
Actually, it's like as joking as we are, Texans in the chat, would you a Texas flag mat?
Yeah. So yeah, if you're in chat right now and you're from Texas, tell us what you would like for your Texas mat. The artwork is still being commissioned right now, so we still have time to change our realistic setting into a giant flag.
Is the mat just going to be like an aerial shot of the Alamo?
I mean, I would actually be really cool with that. I am an Alamo fan, so let's make that happen. But yeah, so Lone Star Open is getting some really solid numbers.
One of the comments: Texas has a large variety of dirt. I'm expecting them all represented on the mat.
All right, let's do it. I want to talk about LVO as well, guys. If you have an Express Pass, if you're one of the Frontline Gaming Sorry,
this
if
is
you
what
were
happens
watching...
when Kicker doesn't provide Tech Priest Dicky with logos, and Tech Priest Dicky pre-show draws a logo.
If I don't get a logo, I got to draw, all right? So that I'm just letting you know.
I'm impressed with the little signal sign.
Yeah.
Seth, explain this for our audience that is only listening to the show, what's going on
If you're listening, what it appears to be is someone opened MS Paint and then wrote LVO 2023.
And officially, I had to get confirmation that it was 2023, which thank you,
yes,
Seth.
he did. He was like, 2023.
So Tech Priest Dicky, Seth, everyone that's listening and watching right now, the reason that we do not have an LVO logo yet is because we are not announcing it till next week. The LVO logo is I'm going to just say by far the best LVO logo we've ever had. Of course, it will be on the t-shirts. It'll be on the objective markers. It'll be on a lot of other stuff we're releasing. But we're going to announce it next week once we have all the
one
final
I did
stuff.
up there. It's
And not
that
the
one.
one you did. We're going to see that one for 2024,
yeah,
possibly.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So if you're an Express Pass holder, check your email. Wink, wink. LVO's coming up. Same with if you are a high roller from 2022. If you're a high roller from 2022, that means you bought a high roller package for pickup earlier this year, 2022. You should have gotten an email as well. Make sure you check that out so that you can take advantage of your high roller status. Seth, I think you're a high
literally
roller, right?
Pre-show took advantage of it.
Yeah, you took advantage. Why don't you explain to me what a high roller is? Because I know that we have some newer players that are
So it's someone who's really rich that goes to casinos. Oh, we talking about the
the
LVO
Frontline gaming high roller. Yeah.
So it's if you've ever been to like Adepticon or Nova or the GW events, they have their regular tier ticket, and then they have a premium ticket which comes with a bunch of swag. So like a T-shirt and pint glasses, objective markers, dice. If companies donate things to give away, a lot of times that'll get put in the bags.
I believe for this year's like a whole box set from GW or something, right?
Yeah. So it's a lot of that stuff is what you're going to get. It also gets you into the event. Yeah. And as Kicker alluded to, next year you will get priority registration, so you can make sure you get your ticket. And Kicker, I believe when I was looking through that, there was a special registration line for the high rollers.
Yes. So if you are a high roller package holder, you can go and bypass the long line for registration and go straight to the front.
And how long was the line last year?
Let's not talk about the line. Well, this was a learning opportunity, new venue. It was really big. It was right out of the Kuroko. The line was, I will admit, a little long for LVO 2022.
Yeah, I mean, Reese was at the front pressing flush with everyone that came through, so it was all fine.
I just want to let you guys know that my 2023 LVO logo has been getting a lot of traction on chat.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, you know what, man? Whatever gets people excited.
I think we could do a special edition logo that's this lovely art.
There we go, bro. Seth, do you want to take us into the FLGN news right now?
Sure. Yeah. So we've got a new episode of Game Changers out by Steve Joel. He's also working on rebranding the image of the show, like getting some new logos and stuff. It's looking pretty good. But this episode has someone you may have heard of before, Kicker. Do you know Adam Camilleri?
Oh, yeah, the Australian guy.
Yeah.
He stayed at my house before.
Yes, Adam. Yes, he stayed at your house. Yes, I got sandwiched between you two on a green screen. Yeah, Adam's down there talking to Steve Joel, just about his rise in the community. So that was a really cool conversation to listen to. Grim After Dark did things. I mean, it's Grim After Dark. Honestly, if I turn it on, it just and then I just kind of phase out. So whatever. Joe, if you're looking to the Thursday show, I know they'll be covering the Alamo GT, and Joe at War Games Live will be there, so you can watch that. And then Kicker. I think I heard some rumblings about a special podcast that might be coming out on the network.
No,
maybe.
Really?
I'm not going to say what it is.
Wait, no, I'm reading the notes. Is that actually happening?
I'm not going to say what it is.
No, you say it. Say it, damn it.
But I'll give the listeners a hint.
All right, give it. You know it, you love it, guys. Can we say it? We got to say it. Like we got Stats Center coming back, people. Yes, the show that you know and love and that we've all been missing for I guess what, a year and a half, 2 years now. It seems like forever.
Than that. It's like 2 years.
Let's not talk about it. It's been way too long.
Basically the start of the pandemic.
Yeah, wait, I didn't have a kid when that show went off air. Jeez, okay, yeah. So it's been a while. It's been a while.
And wait, Kicker, how old is your child?
Yeah, he's 2 years old. So wow. Okay, yeah. Well, Stats Center is coming back. This is the ESPN of 40K in the best way possible.
That was my reference.
Oh, that was your reference?
Better than that.
I'm just helping people out. All right, Seth. I'm stoked for this. Do we have a launch date? Do we know when this is happening?
I just hear it's out there, and it's just keep your eye on the FLGN feed, and who knows when it's going to come out, but hopefully soon.
Sweet. We should probably bring in our wonderful guest.
Yeah. All right, folks. We decided that we wanted to really lift up a colorful character from a less fortunate show you might know of, Grim After Dark. And so I decided, this week I wanted to talk about Horus Heresy, and I thought, who better to talk about Horus Heresy than the man that has more energy about 40K lore than Kicker has about Serial, Taylor of Taylor.
There he is.
My
Wow.
God.
Hey,
All right,
dude.
yeah, cool. We're not just cutting off my forehead. That's totally fine.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
hi. It's me. I'm here.
Hey, Taylor.
I've been told.
Is
what's going on?
it Taylor or Taylor? Is like? Can I call you
All of
Taylor?
it.
Can I call you
Whichever you
Tay-Tay?
prefer. I will have you know that my father calls me Tay-Tay. So if you want to go that route, we will get strange, but you can if you want.
I mean,
I'm not mad
we're
about
grown
it.
men talking about toy soldiers. It's going to be strange one way or another.
I am already sensing danger in this segment of trying to control you two.
Yes.
Which might be a problem, but Kicker, at least ask your required question.
All right, Mr. Tay-Tay, I have to ask, what is your favorite breakfast cereal? This is a required question for all guests of the Sigma Frontline show.
That's super easy. It's Reese's Puffs,
Ooh.
obviously.
Ooh,
Yeah.
all right. I like that. Okay, cool. That, I mean, it's a solid staple in my pantry. So good to hear, man. Good to hear.
Yeah, when I was in the Air Force, I would walk 3 miles to the commissary just for Reese's Puffs. It was awesome.
Gosh. That is a dedicated human being right there. I think that we could get along just fine. All right, Seth, why don't you give a little intro about this the man, the myth here that is Taylor, and who obviously is an amazing human being for his choice of cereal.
True. Yeah.
Taylor has, I would call it a encyclopedic like knowledge of 40K lore. You could basically ask him about any like Black Library book, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then just starts talking about it like he read it yesterday.
Dude, do you see how big my forehead is? Yeah,
it's because the heresy has expanded it.
Yeah,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, so
Jojo.
I wanted to talk about Horus Heresy and Kicker. I don't know if you know this, but Taylor is super passionate about Horus Heresy, both the lore and the game.
Oh, cool! And the game.
He's been seeing a lot of the rule leaks.
Okay.
I have.
And so I wanted to bring him on and talk about that, but let's start off. I kind of gave Taylor. Sorry, they're too energetic. I can't keep them straight. I gave Taylor some prompts. So, what's a 3-minute crash course on the lore of Horus Heresy?
Let me find it. All
right,
cool.
Can we get a clock going? Is that something?
Please don't do that. I will not last.
We don't
want
you stressing. Okay, all right.
It's not happening.
Just take your time. Let's hear the 3-minute crash course on the horse. Because like I've read the books, but I've only read like the first 3 books, and that's about it. And
you stopped well before the story got good.
Right. Yeah. You stopped before they actually knew that there was going to be more than 10 books, and so every segment wasn't like 5 years compressed into like 300 pages. Yeah. So the game is it doesn't start till Davin, but Davin I don't think has actually been released yet. Currently in Horus Heresy First Edition, we've got 9 black books, and Heresy releases its content through campaign books mostly, which I actually really like over 40K. All of its content is either in a red book or a black book. Red book is all rules. Black book is usually Legion specific stuff or new stuff they release that doesn't have a home in red books. And I'm one of those people who is weird, and actually I don't like Marines that much, and I play every other faction around Marines. I play Mechanicum, Solar Auxilia, the Guard, and Custodes. So I totally forgot. Right, we're talking about the game.
No, this is the fun part. We were actually talking about the lore of Horus Heresy. Because it is very narrative driven, is it not?
Oh my, yeah. So the way
give
I
us like 3 minutes of like everything that happens in all 50 books in 3 minutes, basically.
I literally did this on Grim After Dark, and it took an hour.
Okay, don't take an hour. Don't take an hour because I gotta, I gotta go to sleep.
We got stuff to do. We're busy people. We're living our lives. So it's the story of all right.
There's the
Horus
clock.
You have a clock. Oh God, I got
2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
I got clocked at LVO and lost because of it. But anyway, all right. So Horus. All right, Davin happened. Horus is a bad man now. We have to. All right. How do we get from Horus being a bad man to the Emperor doing, being on the big golden throne or whatever and dying, but not dying? He's mostly fine, but not really fine. Okay. How do we get from Davin to that? And that's the Horus Heresy. It's the story of the legions doing mostly a bunch of dumb things. They're not actually that good at war, not really versus each other. Bolters are AP 0 and they have a 3+ armor save, so they don't really know what they're doing here. But so yeah, it's how we get from point A to point B and all the horrific twists and turns in between there and that.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not going to last 3 minutes. It's too hard.
okay.
I talk too
All right.
fast.
Well, no, I got feeder questions for you.
We got
Yeah, what's up?
I know, and I figured this is the easy way to get folks into it. You know, everyone who plays Horus Heresy loves their specific legion.
Right.
So, Kicker, what's your favorite legion of the original founding legions?
There are a couple.
That's not a
true.
Imperial Guard.
True.
It's not a Space Marine, sir.
Sorry, I like our friend here, Taylor. I am actually more of a non-Space Marine fan.
But
if
you had to pick one,
okay, if I had to pick one, I don't like the emo look of them, but I like the style they play the Raven Guard.
Right? Raven Guard are really cool.
Yeah.
So what happens to the Raven Guard?
Yeah, like
Heresy?
What happened to the Primarch? Because he doesn't have a Primarch.
No, he's still there.
Oh,
so
still there. Okay.
yeah, so we have so Ispan 3 happens. And the Emperor's like, oh man, a bunch of my kids are traitors now. That's not good.
Yeah.
And so he sends all his other sons, and they're like, we're gonna beat up some traitors. But a bunch of them are actually traitors. They're not gonna do that. So the Raven Guard, the Iron Hands, the Salamanders are the first wave. They go down and they fight for a couple hours. They do a big bunch of stuff. But at the end of that war. Yeah, they do a big war. You know, they have a couple genocides as a treat. At the end of those couple genocides as a treat, they are like, all right, cool, it's time for the second wave to come in. We were having a horrible time here. The Iron Hands are actually off the distance, and all you can really hear is angry screaming. Yeah. They don't really want to do the whole retreat thing. But the Salamanders and the Raven Guard are like, God, we're so tired right now. You have to let us out of here. And the Iron Warriors and the Word Bearers are like, actually, buddy, I have really bad news for you. And then they just kind of unload on them, and they all die. Well, not all of them, but like, you know, only... I think the Raven Guard took 50,000-ish Marines. The Raven Guard were pretty small as far as legions goes. They weren't up there. I think they were only like 80,000. Each of the legions actually has a number of Marines they had during the Heresy and before, which is pretty neat. But yeah, so they're wiped out to like less than 10% of their total force, and Korvax is like, oh, that's not good. That's bad. All right. And so he leaves. He and his legion, they do their whole guerrilla warfare. I don't know if you know that they like to be sneaky. Yeah. I don't think they talk about it that much.
Revelation.
Yeah. I don't think the Raven Guard really broadcast that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
They're
not
really
at all,
sneaky.
Right?
Yeah, not at all. So they do a whole big guerrilla warfare. They get as many Marines off of as they can, and they leave.
Cool.
And Korvax is like,
Korvax is the Primarch, or
Korvax is the Primarch, yes. Corvus Corax, which means bird, I assume.
Oh, let's go for it.
Raven bird.
Man, I see a trend here. I see a trend. All right, cool.
The bird mechanic here can tell us, I'm sure. It's fine.
It's true.
Yeah. So Korvax is like, all right, well, that was terrible. Most of my guys are dead. That's not good. I'm really sad about that. I have to make it to Terra. And I have to make it to Terra because I don't really know what to do. Honestly,
he needs Daddy to help him. Yeah,
not vibing with this. So he goes to Terra, and I actually haven't read most of the Raven Guard books because I don't care about them at all.
Sorry for choosing the one faction you don't like so much, but
basically, it's fine. I still know.
They lost a lot of their guys in that big fight, and then
they did, yeah.
Daddy.
And then they went back to Daddy and made mutant Marines accidentally.
Exactly.
Wait,
yes.
what? Wait. How did they make mutant Marines? Where's this coming from?
So they went back to Terra, and the Emperor and Korvax was like, I have like no guys left at all. Can you help me with that? I think you made the Marines, right? Yeah. Didn't you? That was you. You have a thing that I can use to make more. And he was like, yeah, I guess. And so he like takes the knowledge of how to make Marines and implants it in Korvax's brain.
Yeah.
And there's actually some really cool stuff with that because so he teaches Korvax how to make Marines the good way, the easy way.
Yeah.
You just take all the Marine stuff and you just shove it in, and
in a microwave. You press 30 seconds, you're good to go.
Exactly.
I love it.
It's like 2 days instead of 18 years.
Perfect.
And they're called the Raptor Marines, and all the Raptor Marines are super intelligent. They're way smarter, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
The wah 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 music plays when they move.
But they're mutants though.
They're Primaris.
They're Primaris. They're probably even better. But anyway, so the Alpha Legion are like, man, we're also the sneaky faction. We can't really be letting you guys have this. So they sabotage it. And when they sabotage it, they let like the last batch go through. And the last batch is just all like horrible flesh monstrosities that are having just a horrible time being alive, just not really not really down with this existence thing,
Yeah.
but they're still loyal, which is, I guess, commendable.
That's weird.
So loyal mutants.
Loyal
Yeah.
Space Marine
Well, okay,
mutants.
we're talking about mutants here.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it like a little short, but I have to ask because this has always really bothered me because my
What's
other
up?
army that I really do
This
like
is-
from the
this
Space
is what I'm
Marines
worried about.
is the Space Wolves, but like they
Okay.
have like part like wolfen thing going on there, right? We don't need to go in
Yeah.
depth here, but if
Sure.
like they're part canine and part human, like wouldn't that be
Yeah.
a mutant? And why are they allowed to
It
fight?
would. I mean, all Space Marines are like disgusting mutants, to be clear.
But like they have wolfen in their ranks, and like
They
why are
do.
they taking them out back and shooting them like old Yeller? Like I'm confused, like because
Kind-
they're a mutant.
Kind of, they do. So the Wolfen
Okay.
curse isn't actually that bad for them during the Heresy.
Okay.
The Wolfen unit that they have is called the Deathsworn. They actually have models.
Okay.
The Wolfen curse hasn't really gestated all the way. So
Right.
after the Heresy, people will start becoming like full Wolfen, and they'll create the 13th Great Company. The Space Wolves usually have 12, and so they shove all the Wolfen into the Great Company. And then when Bruss is like, "I'm really sick. I'm not having a good time. I'm going to go out back and die," they all go with him into the Eye of Terror.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are sanctioned because. Okay, sorry. I mean, okay.
No. If an Inquisitor,
This is what I'm worried about.
No, he would immediately be like, "What in God's name is that?
Yeah, and then he would shoot.
What
them.
are
Okay,
you
gotcha.
doing?"
All
Yeah.
right. Cool. Seth,
Okay.
interrupt
Bringing us
us.
back to the Horus Heresy.
All right.
topic.
Oh my gosh, jeez.
Yeah,
I
this is what
apologize,
I'm worried
people.
about, folks. Putting these two in the same
Let's
conversation.
go to the rules here. Let's go to the rules.
So why? All right, sell it to me, Taylor. I'm
Why
a
are we
40K
playing
guy. I have a Space Marine army. Why
right.
should I play Horus Heresy?
All right, or Space Marine man. I have the golden cup for you. You ready for it?
Yeah.
What if your 3+ armor save mattered?
Ooh, wow.
Right?
That's attractive.
Are you
Okay.
interested?
Because
Yeah.
you're only playing against other Marines.
Not actually. There's Custodes. I don't care. There's a bunch of other factions.
There's
But-
Custodes, Admech, Dark Admech, Solar
Yes.
Auxilia, some little rune sworn demony things.
Yes, demons and guard. And I think those
Guard
are-
kicker.
but there's
Guard.
I'm so loving.
the guard is actually here, and then there's the cooler guard, but we have regular guard if you want that, like a nerd.
But is it just 40K with less factions? Is that what's going on here, or
No, I don't. It's so yes, I guess. Like
Mhm.
it's mostly the Imperium versus Chaos kind of stuff, but no one's really Chaos besides the demons.
Mhm.
The demons are here; they're obviously very Chaos. But yeah, so 40. So 40K is like so 40K and 30K are a war game, right?
Yeah.
In my mind, 40K emphasizes the game in Wargame, and 30K emphasizes the war in Wargame.
Okay.
So it's a lot more
Alright.
it's a lot more simulational. There's a lot more rules, but the rules are, they're easy. They're just rules. And your armor save actually matters. They decided in second edition Heresy that if everyone is going to play Marines, or mostly, right, not every gun in the game should be explicitly designed to kill Marines. It's probably bad.
Yeah.
You'll probably never see basic tacticals, and you didn't. But now with these rules, I genuinely think that you see regular Marines, and they're impactful. They're very good. A lot of guns went from AP2, which just flat ignored everyone's armor save, to AP4, which only ignores armor saves up to 4. And then
So AP4 is cool.
It's the old AP system where if
The old
AP
AP
is equal to or less than your armor save, it matters.
Gotcha.
Right. Yep.
So
and
a 3-up
usually
armor save would be fine in an AP4 gun.
Right. Versus a plasma gun, it's fine. But that plasma gun also has a special rule where if it rolls a certain to wound, usually I think it's 4 in the playtest rules, it goes back to AP2. So it's still good at killing Marines. It's still the choice you want to take for killing Terminators, who are a huge problem now, actually, because most of the AP2 in the game straight up either disappeared or went to AP3 or AP4 breaching, and breaching is the keyword that lets it go to AP2 on a 4+. So like your armor saves matter, and the rules are really cool. So remember when 8th edition 8.5 happened, and the Marines released, and it was horrible for everybody? What if everybody got to be Marines?
Yeah. So are you seeing the game's more balanced because everyone's kind of on the same level?
There's less levers to pull, I think, to balance that game.
So it's first edition Heresy was really unbalanced if you tried to make it so. Like if you wanted to play a competitive tournament, I think first edition Heresy was like horrific. But I think second. So what I've seen of second edition Heresy, I really like. They've toned down. You get to use your models. They've toned down lethality like way down, and Heresy was already less lethal than 40k, and now it's like half again as lethal. So you get to use your models for the whole game.
That's
and
cool.
leadership, yeah, it's awesome. And leadership matters. Like leadership isn't just another level to pull to commit die. They actually like pinning exists, and you can interact with like. So if you pin a unit, they can only make snapshots, or they have to pass a check. There's a bunch of stuff that can happen. It's a lot more. It's a lot more, right? 40k is the game. 30k is the war.
So let's just ask the question I'm sure a lot of people want to know is like, if you gonna get into one game, 40k or 30k, it seems like 40k is an easier game to jump into.
Yeah. So
because it's just a simpler rule set, right? Because you kind of said there's a lot of rules for 30k,
but it's also usually less points.
Oh, okay, cool. What I can tell you, man, is I mean, obviously the new edition's new, and so we don't know how that's going to impact the turnout at events. But LVO this year, the 30k crowd was like packed. Like we sold out. Like that was very awesome group of people playing 30k. So, hey Seth, have you played 30k at all? Like, have you played
I played in like early first edition, like before they even had all the Legion rules out. I had an Iron Hands army that I played with.
Yeah. Do you guys think that
I saw my Ferris Mantis?
That's your Ferris army. So this is interesting, right? I know a lot of guys get into 40k, the game of 40k, because they read the Black Library books, which is mainly focused around Horus Heresy, right? I mean, I was just talking to an army guy that has been deployed, and that's all he was doing is just reading 30k Horus Heresy books. Now he's back in the country. He can start picking up miniatures, like actual miniatures, and getting in the game. He's never played. Do you think it'd be better for him to play 30k because the lore directly corresponds with the game, or is it too complicated for a first miniature game for someone?
I don't think so. No, if you want to play Marines, like I think you should play 30k because it's very, very easy to make your Marines work in 30k and 40k. Like I also play Iron Hands, or I played them. I've been selling a bunch of them, but I have an Iron Hands army up there on that shelf that I play in 30k and 40k very easily. There's a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
So like I think you don't even have to choose if you're a Marine player. You can just do both.
Yeah.
If you're a custode player, you can also just
it's like
do both.
Demons, but with AOS and fantasy.
Good
call.
And also Demons. Like Demons is a faction you can play in
Demons
this game.
Plays in all three systems?
It does, yeah.
Gosh.
Right there.
There
so yeah, if you're a guard, Marine, or Demons player or custode player, you can just like with no effort just slot into 30k, which I mean I think helps.
Orcs.
There are fan rules.
Yeah. They should be. I mean, they had orcs.
There's fan rules. There's fan rules for all of the Xenos factions. There's a community.
A lot of them existed. Tau were a little fish in a pond at that point, but
yeah, they weren't actually around. But I mean, like whatever. Who cares? You can just play them as a Xenos race. It's fine. Yeah. So yeah, the Heresy doesn't actually delve into the Great Crusade, which is where all the Xenos fighting happens. But it's very, very easy, especially if you were familiar with 7th. It's very easy to just plug that right in.
So just because you mentioned this, and I'm more interested in the Xenos. What the Great Crusade comes after the Heresy or before the Heresy? Before the Heresy. Yes. Okay, cool. Why are there not books on this? I want to see Marines taking down orcs. Sorry, Seth.
So there totally are. There's a number of books that have. So most of the library books that deal with the Great Crusade don't deal with the Great Crusade directly.
Okay.
Most of those books that do are the Primarch books.
Okay.
But there's totally like tons of content for the Great Crusade. It's just spread out. There's a lot of it, but there's a lot of books. Like there's like 70 books now for the Horus Heresy. So there's snippets everywhere for the Great Crusade. And I also wish we got more Great Crusade content. There's some really cool stuff, like the Ragden Xenocides, I think would be. But I mean, if you do that, you kind of remove its mystery, which kind of sucks. That's fine.
Seth, do we have any listener questions? Do you have some?
We did, but it was a blur of Kicker and Kicker energy. I believe the question I saw that I wanted to ask is, can you still kick ass with Magnus and 20 Scarab called Terminators?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're still very good. Yeah, very, very playable. Court of the Crimson King is worse now, but like, thank God, right? Agree with me, Thousand Suns player. That should be worse, right? You agree?
All right.
I got you.
All right. Well, let's move on to the competitive news. Taylor, you feel free to stick around and give your own unique spicy takes.
I'll bother you the entire time. That's fine.
Oh, great.
All right. So, all right. So in competitive news, Motor City Mayhem was this past weekend. It was dominated by NIDS, but they did not have the FAQ in effect. Kicker, I did note something, and I feel the need to poke fun at a certain organized play group.
Poke fun away. What happened?
So Adepticon, who won that? Not Art of War.
Not Art of War. You're right. Right.
Who won Motor City Mayhem?
Oh man,
Not Art of War. I think the Great Lakes has a secret. They have some secret, some way to take down the seemingly invincible Art of War house.
Yeah, it's the water.
I mean,
it's the water.
It's the water.
The Great Lakes,
water.
Yeah, the water.
Do you I mean, did you just throw the glove down at Art of War? Are you ready to?
I'm just saying, they seemed nigh uninvincible most weeks, but here they are falling short. So.
Wow. Good point,
you guys. But anyway, speaking of the FAQ, they literally the morning of Motor City Mayhem, because it started on a Friday morning, like minutes before the event started, dropped an FAQ for Tyranids, which was hilarious because they kind of scrambled, but they didn't use it. But anyway,
yeah. I mean, I can't blame. I wouldn't use it either. I mean, it's just too last minute. But no.
I would.
You would?
Yeah,
I would make my players use it for sure. Yeah.
And Taylor would be like, "Here's the rules, guys. I know you built that list and practiced for months, but screw you."
I hope you play this right.
Yep. So speaking of things that FAQ'd, so they FAQ'd in Circle of Prey, which was the stratagem to let them throw like a hive tyrant forward and see if it made a charge and fight and punch things and score all the points and then leave. Right. Now that is in the movement phase. So they don't get to score all their objectives and run away and do all that jazz. Sorry, the comments are Art of War people from Florida famously can't swim in Great Lakes.
Oh, there we go.
Now we've extended the beef to all of Florida.
Yeah.
All right. This
real
is good. There was a stratagem for a extra cast on their psychic powers for any psyker. They've changed it to characters only. That's important because that's one less cast for the Maleceptor, who was basically the mortal wounds spamming brain bug of doom. They also clarified that when it does its action, that counts as one of its 2 casts. So basically, instead of before where it could have 4 casts with 3 psychic powers from a stratagem and an action on a special imperative, now it's capped at 2. So it really cuts that thing's mortal wound put down. They changed how the Leviathan Hive Nexus psychic power worked, which is them being able to hand a buff to a unit. Now it's only a core unit, so they can't hand out buffs as easily. So they toned the NIDs down, but I don't think it's enough. Taylor, do you think that was enough to stop the NID menace?
No, I think the problem now is their data sheets are just straight up better than everybody else's. Like, their rules were already better than everybody else's, and also their data sheets were better than everyone. So now we're just left with one. For the most part, I mean, their rules are still really good.
Yeah,
but
they are. They are definitely really good. There's definitely some really strong data sheets. I think I was in some Discord chats where post FAQ dropping, they basically, all the NID players had rewritten their list in like 20 minutes, and were ready to rock. And I was like, that's usually not a good sign when they're like, I've already fixed my list, I'm good to go. And you're like, should have taken you a little bit longer than that. So we'll see if this pans out. And
this might be like the Drukhari of last year, going to slowly.
It might require multiple phases. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get into the 40K ITC recap. If our lovely tech priest would like to bring that up any minute now, but maybe not. Who knows? There he is. All right. So number 1, still the reigning champ, Manny Spammy Chima, followed closely by our new number 2, Vic Vijay. And then I have to thank BCP for this statistical error, because I really didn't want Ennis Wilson to be 5th anymore. So Matt Robinson has done some sort of amazing feat and scored 3rd place twice.
Thank
which
God.
has Thomas Ogden technically listed as 5th. Therefore, Ennis got knocked out of the top 5.
We're going to stick with that. Put that guy in his place.
Yeah, the reality being that Thomas is 4th and Ennis is 5th, but I can dream. Moving on to the 40K hobby track. Our number 1 is Jamie Pirazzolo. Number 2, Nathan Fennell. Right. Oh no, they've changed it again. How have they changed it again? All right, number 2, Morgan Tempe. Number 3, Christopher Johnson. Number 4, Linton Rowan. And number 5, Jacob Thayer. They either changed it again or I was really bad at copying things. I think they changed it again.
A
though,
lot
because
of
they
scores were
definitely-
just updated. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
It's
Kicker, you don't let a brother know that you're updating.
I don't actually push the button. I just know what happened.
Okay. AOS competitive track, which is probably out of date too. Number 1, Thomas Guan. All right, that was right. Number 2, Alexander Gonzalez, and I think if I pronounce it correctly, it's Alexander Gonzalez, based on all caps there. Thank you, Alexander. Number 3, a returning name from last season, Anthony Trentinelli. Number 4, John Anderson, and number 5, Matt Beasley. Moving on down to the hobby track, we've got number 1, Russ Tanner, number 2, Carl Rohr, number 3, Matt Abbott, number 4, Robert Snyder, and number 5, Aaron Newbaum. Taylor, how do you feel about my conspiracy theory that Robert Snyder is just Ryan Snyder in a trench coat playing AOS?
I think that's objectively correct. However, I don't know who any of those people are. But also, I have my own conspiracy theory. Not really theory, more just observation. There are too many Anthonys in the top echelons of this hobby. Scrolling through that, I saw a lot of them. I also discovered why Vanilla calls Birdsong It's because they share the same first name.
Wow! Boom.
It's unbelievable.
That's enlightening.
We've unlocked the conspiracy.
Yeah, they share power. It's too much.
There we go.
Too much. It is too much. The chat pointed out that I may have had to I was wiping my forehead because I didn't have to pronounce certain names this week. Maybe not.
Yeah, you had an easy this week, Oak.
Yeah, this was actually, I like our current top 5s. It's nice and easy for me to pronounce. So
yeah, okay, guys, let's just keep this for the rest of the year so that Seth has an easy time reading these names.
Yes, exactly.
As long as I never have to say Innis ever again, I'm happy.
Wow, you really have a vendetta against Innis.
Yeah, he's my best friend.
Oh, that's sweet.
All right, listeners, do you have any questions for us or for the infinite font of lore that is Taylor?
Otherwise, I'm going to open up the can of worms about space wolves and if they're mutants or not, and I just that might go.
I'll squint really hard at the screen when they pop up. True, they are the best traders. Like
Kicker, did you have any questions for Taylor? Or Taylor, did you have any other burning thoughts you wanted to get off your chest?
Yeah, I mean, wait, Taylor, are you a play tester for 30K?
No, I just am very connected.
Okay, you're very connected. So, I mean, and like, I'm just gonna just say it out right now. Like, what do you think it's gonna survive? Do you think 30K is going to?
Dude, yeah.
But do you think it's gonna be something that's gonna be going on for long? Like, it's gonna be up there like 40K, maybe not as many people, but up there like Age of Sigmar, like large.
So I think so. I think the game deserves it. Frankly, I think the game is really fun. We've seen the playtest rules, and I've been playtesting with some friends, and the game is really fun.
Is there space for somebody to play
we've got
both?
questions flooding in now. Get ready.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I gotta.
All right, go, Seth. Go.
I might have closed the restream.
Okay, you do your thing, Seth.
What is Tay-Tay's least favorite legion?
Ooh, least favorite legion.
I have a couple. Salamanders is at the very bottom.
Right.
I hate them. For very
Chat, I may have accidentally closed the stream, so if you have questions, probably re-ask them.
Yeah.
Get owned, chat. But
or tech screen for us.
I hate the Salamanders because of their books. Their books are some of the worst slogs I've ever had to read, and they genuinely make me want to die. Okay. I also just hate the Night Lords because of look at them.
You don't like Batman?
No,
they're like weird though, man.
Right.
I mean,
they're lame.
Tech Priest Dicky, if you can bring that one back up, that was a really good question, and I can't read it anymore.
There we go.
How far can a Swarm Lord punt a Firstborn Marine versus a Primaris Marine?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really useful question to ask. Thank you so much, chat audience member, for requesting this information.
I'd bet Primaris Marines are probably like 50 pounds heavier than Primaris, maybe like 100 pounds because they got all those extra. No, they'd be a lot more because they got metal in their bones.
Yeah.
So they're probably at least like 200 pounds more. So whatever quadratic equation with the triangles you got to do to figure that one out. That one's up to you.
Triangles are illegal in 40K.
Triangles are illegal in 40K.
Why are Blood Angels the best in Horus Heresy and 40K?
So they're the best for their old lore, for the old Horus Heresy stuff. Where Sanguinius and the Blood Angels were fighting Horus tooth and nail, literally the entire long march to Terra. That's their best stuff. Their current heresy lore is terrible. It's awful. They encounter some demons in some god awful nowhere place, and they're like, "That was pretty cool. We're gonna go to Ultramar," and then they stay at Ultramar for 3 years, and they just sit in a ship and they do nothing. So I just pretend, just remove that from your brain. That never happened. That's lame. I always think they're. When I think about Blood Angels and Heresy, I think about their old lore, not the new ones.
I did have a 40K versus 30K rules question. Can your 30K scores count for 40K ITC points?
Only if you're from some regions of Texas and Australia.
Yep, that's the answer. That is the answer right there.
All right.
Hey, Seth, I got a question just asked to me real fast. 30K new edition, that uses templates, right? Question mark?
It does, yes.
Templates, but that's a very controversial thing here. I mean, templates.
If you want templates, 30K's got.
I have a deal, but so templates, super easy. Under asterisk, you have to be playing with people who are normal, well adjusted. I would say maybe.
Right, we're
out. So I've been playing Heresy for years. I've never had a problem with the templates. It's fine. If you want to do the thing where you space out all your models 2 inches, go for it. It's not worth it. It's like, just take the blast. It's fine. They're probably going to miss anyway. It's 2d6 scatter. It's whatever. You don't have to do it. But I think personally, blast tape lanes are really fun. I have a great time with those.
I remember from like when I think it was maybe the 7th edition of Apocalypse, where they released like the ridiculous 15-inch pie plate, and then like these series of 5-inch pie plates that stuck together in some weird combo.
Oh my gosh.
The Clover one,
awesome.
I got the. I love those things.
Crazy. All right. Well, I think that is all of the questions we had for tonight. I really want to thank Taylor for joining us. I know he kind of skidded in here to make sure he got off of work and got in on time. So I really appreciate it. We didn't want to leave you behind, bud.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Where could folks check you out if they want to hear from you? Do you got anything to plug yet?
Everyone else's podcast, I guess, that I know.
he's not on his own yet, but that might be coming in the pipeline, folks.
Just all the people I know.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts for the night, guys?
Play Horus Heresy. It's really fun.
All right, play Horus Heresy. Taylor, once again, thank you so much for coming on, guys. I hope to see you, Taylor, at one of the upcoming Frontline Gaming events.
Yeah,
guys,
I'll be at LBO.
BO. All right, awesome. And BAO is next week, guys. Seth, right. Get ready.
Yeah.
Seth, why don't you take us out?
All right. Well, we really thank you. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Signal to the Frontline. Thank you so much for watching. Paint those miniatures and get ready for next week, because next week is at the BAO. But until next time, have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Good night, guys.
Night.